So in this video, I will be looking at two future absolute behemoths in this space, Constellation Networks DAG and Hedera Hashgraph HBAR. So spoiler alert, I love both projects, and this isn't a zero-sum game where one succeeds and one fails. I'm sure both will be major players in the future, and I hold both and will continue to do so and also add to the positions. The value of both projects currently are quite different, with HBAR being worth around a 10x of the market cap of DAG, so that's something just to keep in mind. But for me, both are currently priced as amazing buying opportunities. Also something to be mindful of in the current climate where self-custody should be at the forefront of everyone's thoughts. As far as I'm aware, DAG can't be stored on any of the main secure storage devices, though talk of ledger compatibility has been going on for what seems like an eternity. I have a soft staking node which costs 250,000 DAG that I'm not going to lie, not needing a ledger to sign transactions makes me nervous. We will cover nodes later, or lack of nodes. My HBAR are securely stored on my ledger. This may or may not matter to you. I see people with millions of dollars on their MetaMask and they are fine with that. Personally, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. Both projects run on DAG technology, and that stands for Directed Acyclical Graphs. DAG is, like blockchain, composed of a network with a number of different nodes confirming transactions. Each new transaction that is submitted requires the confirmation of at least two earlier transactions before it is successfully recorded onto the network. As more transactions are submitted, more transactions are confirmed and entered, resulting in a distributed web of doubly confirmed transactions. Unlike the blockchain model, however, DAG does not require miners to authenticate its transactions. By having two parent transactions confirm the validity of subsequent transaction, human intervention becomes dispensable, resulting in a vastly accelerated process, not requiring miners. Confirmation means transactions go through almost instantaneously. Additionally, if there are no miners, there are no miners' fees, helping to keep actual transaction fees to a minimum. It is also worth noting that this low fee structure opens itself to another important feature, DAG's ability to process microtransactions. The key with Hedera Hashgraph over other projects is they run a governance council, so pretty much every transaction that goes through needs to be validated by the governance council. So there is a maximum of 39 governance members, and only these members can run validation nodes. These members are some of the largest organizations in the world, like Google, Boeing, and IBM, to name a few. Some naysayers don't like this model and claim Hedera Hashgraph is not decentralized. I don't have an issue with this system. Now, nothing is perfect, and something that does irk me with Hedera is swirls. Dr. Lehman Baird, who created the Hedera Hashgraph algorithm, also founded Swirls, and Swirls owns the intellectual property of Hedera Hashgraph and allows Hedera to use it. This is potentially a single point of failure in the future. Constellation Network runs what's called state channels. The hypergraph network is made up of a collection of microservices called state channels. Each state channel validates specific data types with user-defined validation functions. State channels form a distributed network architecture that can accommodate real big world data use cases. Developers can integrate state channels directly into existing applications, allowing for direct E2E security and minimal seamless deployment. Like I mentioned earlier, currently you can run soft staking nodes with DAG via their launchpad Lattice Exchange. This really has massive passive income potential in the future, literally doing nothing other than staking your DAG. The Constellation HTTP network is powered by a secure communication protocol designed for wide open networks and concurrency. Their vision was not achievable with traditional consensus models. Therefore, they built PRO from the ground up, incorporating machine learning to balance their complex network topology with a performance-based approach to validator rewards. Their protocol relies on a P2P reputation system called Proof of Reputable Observation (PRO) that serves as their consensus model while simultaneously optimizing network topology. Both projects are Byzantine fault tolerant. Now, if you aren't sure what that actually means, here is a simple analogy. A number of generals are attacking a fortress, and they must decide as a group whether to attack or retreat. Some generals may prefer to attack, while others prefer to retreat. The important thing is that all the generals agree on a common decision. For a half-hearted attack by a few generals would become a rout, and would be worse than either a coordinated attack or a coordinated retreat. The problem is complicated by the presence of treacherous generals, who may not only cast a vote for a suboptimal strategy, they may do so selectively. For instance, if 9 generals are voting, 4 of whom support attacking, while 4 others are in favour of retreat, the 9th general may send a vote to retreat to those generals in favour of retreat, and a vote of attack to the rest. Those who receive a retreat vote from the 9th general will retreat, while the rest will attack, which may not go well for the attackers. The problem is complicated further by the generals being physically separated and having to send their votes via messengers, who may fail to deliver their votes or may forge false votes. Being Byzantine fault tolerant is critical for banking, Ministry of Defence, Department of Defence, or anything that would require absolute security, especially around the monetary system. As far as I'm aware, there are only a few, less than 10 crypto projects that would comply with this requirement, and 2 of them are being featured in this video. Exciting stuff. One of Constellation Network's current customers that I need to talk about is the United States Air Force. They are using Constellation Network's DAG as data handlers. Can you think for a moment the amount of due diligence that would have been required for an arm of the United States of America's military defence force to confidently utilise Constellation Network for this? We're talking national security here. It's probably the most impressive partnership I'm aware of in all of crypto. Even writing this, I'm getting more excited about both projects. Like I mentioned earlier, this isn't about which one will make it. I think both are fantastic, and DAG technology really is blockchain 3.0. Which do I prefer? Coke or Pepsi? Both are fantastic, and a personal preference may sway you one way or another, but whether you invested early in Coke or Pepsi, either would have returned you massive gains today. I hold both and will be adding to these holdings along the way.